So the first thing we're going to take a look at is problem 2. You're going to have a square root problem on the test. So like we talked about before, the square root of 4 over 49. You want to make sure in your problem you wrote it down like this. Square root of 4 over the square root of 49. You can put this in your calculator and find out what each one is. Make sure if you get a fraction as a problem, you're going to give me a fraction as your answer. So, what is the square root of 4? 2. What is the square root of 49? 7. What they're asking you is what number times itself gives you that number inside. So 2 times 2 is 4. 7 times 7 is 49. I can also go to my handy dandy calculator, go into my briefcase of supplies, go into my calculator, hit start. Now you know how to get to it if you were confused. Square root button is down here. If you're looking for it, just all the way down here. Right there's a button. I'm going to click on it. It shows up in the screen. Square root of 4. The answer is 2. So I want to find the square root of 49. It was 49, right?
Yeah.
49. The answer is 7. Okay? So that's how you do that problem. Problem number 1. How do I want you to show me your work? Just like this. Great question to ask. I need you to tell me that you know that this is -3 times -12. I don't know you know that. By you writing it down, that tells me a number next to a parentheses means multiply. Then use your calculator. Go to your handy dandy calculator, click it in there, -3 times -12, right here. -3 times -12, survey says 36. Right? There's my answer. Number 2. A number, it's a fraction, next to parentheses means I have to, everybody, I need to multiply, multiply. Yes, we need a what? Multiply, that's what I'm talking about. So I'm going to bring it down here. I'm going to have 5 over 8. In my parentheses, I have -2 over 8. And how do I multiply fractions? I multiply across. 5 times -2 equals -10. 8 times 8 is 64. Is that my final answer? No, not yet. But if you act right now, I'll throw in the reduced fraction for free. Okay, you with me? Okay, so 10 is negative, 64 is negative. So that means I can divide both numbers by, wait for it, which number? 2, right? So I can take -10 over 64, divide by 2, and I get -5 over 64 divided by 2, do the math. It gives me 32, is that correct? Yes, it is. I started with a fraction, I end with a fraction. Please do not give me no decimal. Okay? I will mark it wrong. All right. Let's take a look at number 3. What does this sign mean? Divide. I have a negative and I have a positive. What's my answer going to be? You got it, negative. And then divide that in the calculator, you get 16. Answer is -16. Let's take a look at number 4. Negative 9 over 10 divide by negative 4 over 5. When I divide with fractions, what am I actually going to turn that division problem into? Multiplication. Excellent. So this is going to turn into times negative. Not only does it turn into multiplication, I have to flip the fraction. They call that in the math world reciprocal. You take the fraction and bam, flip it over. Okay? So when you bam it, you flip it over. Now we follow the same rules as we did in the other problem with the fraction. You just multiply across. Oh, look at that. Both numbers are negative. What's my answer going to be? Positive. Okay, so we know right away it's going to be positive. 9 times 5, 45. 10 times 4, 40. Is that my final answer? No. Tell me, what is the number one answer on the board? What should I do? Divide it by 5 because they both end in 5. So I'm just going to rewrite this up for 10. We're going to add a rule. Divide both top and the bottom, which they call that numerator and denominator. 45 divided by 5 is 9. 40 divided by 5 is 8. Top number one answer on the board. 9 over 8 is your answer. Leave it like that. Don't change it to a decimal. I don't want to see no decimal. Okay? Any questions on that? Okay, we're having a test over this week's material and next week's material. So, please go into your Mission 5 tab, which is right here. Click on it, and you'll see a pink tile. I think that's pink. I don't know, it could be purple. I'm not sure, but I think that's what it is. Click there. You will see a video of last week's notes. For some reason, there's no sound, but the notes are there. Please watch this. Just click that arrow. Bam! Look what's happened. Those are the questions from last week. They're there. Take a look at it if you weren't there last week. If you want to review it again, then ask me any questions before you leave. You have 15 minutes. Work on the work that was due for this week. Review. Ask me questions. Okay? All right. Let's get it done.